What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So one of the things I want to do in today's video, we got some good news and some bad news. We're going to talk about the stimulus package, stimulus update there. Going to talk about how we could potentially vote before Christmas. Want to explain who's actually saying this and where we're seeing some pushback. I've addressed this before, but we're getting some new updates on this. Want to talk about what the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said today and how what he said could potentially cause the stock market to somewhat crash. So a lot of stuff we need to get to, but first I just want to thank you guys for always hitting that like button. It really does help out the channel. But let's get into the update for today. First, earlier on today, I said that one of the things that is holding up the bill as of right now, which some Republicans say this is not good, some Democrats are now jumping on board saying this isn't what we signed up for. What I reported earlier was that through the Build Back Better Act, the provision for universal pre-K, it was funded for 7 years. That is actually wrong, okay? When I said it was, the reports earlier were 7 years. Now the reports are that through the Build Back Better Act, it is actually only funded for 4 years. The other 6 years, because it would go for 10 years, the other 6 years are actually supposed to be covered by the specific states. So, right now, what we are hearing is that many states, both Republican and Democratic states, are now unsure if they will even participate in this program. I said this earlier that the GOP was not going to participate. There was many states that said absolutely not. Well, here's the issue. For a Democratic state to come out and say they will not participate in this program simply because it's not funded for long enough, that is going to be a huge blow to the Biden administration. But that's not the only big blow. That's not the only thing that's hurting Democrats at this time. Here's something else that we're hearing. Today, Senator Joe Manchin, he said that he wants to see multiple changes. There's still some work that has to be done, and those needs to be addressed before we even vote on a bill. He also said that Senator Chuck Schumer, who's the Senate Majority Leader, he is the one that controls the calendar, and when he was asked if he would support passing the bill in 2021 or does he want to kick this back into 2022, he said if Senator Schumer wants to hold a vote before 2022, then he needs to make the call and hold a vote. But according to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, when he was asked if Senator Joe Manchin made any assurances that yes, he supports this bill, he simply said that we will have a vote on this before Christmas and this will get done. That was it. But here's what Senator Joe Manchin had to say later on. He said that when he was back in West Virginia, he heard many concerns from people over inflation, and this still needs to be addressed. Now, here's where things get very interesting regarding not just the infrastructure bill, but everything. We got the debt ceiling increase. If we raise the debt ceiling, chances are Democrats and I'll just say Republicans as well, everybody's going to throw more money back in there. It's going to raise our deficit once again, and we will potentially see more inflation. So that is one issue there. We also have to pass the NDAA. That's another big issue. Then obviously we got this human infrastructure bill for $1.75 trillion. According to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen earlier on today, she said that the $1.75 trillion human infrastructure bill would not increase our deficit, that it is fully funded. But one senator came back and asked her that in 2019, she said when our deficit was only $17 trillion, we couldn't afford to keep spending like this. But we are now at $29 trillion, 2 years, and we have gone up $12 trillion. But according to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, that this is not a cause for concern, that yes, we need to address Social Security and Medicare. Those are going to be big problems in the future, but as of right now, there's other things that we obviously need to deal with. But here's what I can tell you that happened today. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was already speaking alongside of Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. And today, he said that the Federal Reserve must begin controlling inflation. And in doing so, they will be tasked with a faster taper and increasing interest rates faster than previously expected. This is what started the entire kind of market sell-off. We started to see some things doing very poorly, okay? But here's where this is starting to create another issue. The issues right now, what direction do we go pretty much what direction does the economy go once we make these changes, right? Interest rate increases and taper. What happens? Will we fully recover before either one of these things happen? The expectation is no, we will not. Will we see unemployment rate in the 3% range? Probably not. Will we still be fighting the potential threat of a new COVID variant? It's highly likely. All of these things are major turning points for us here in the United States. But this isn't all. Again, like I said, we still have to pass the NDAA. Some say that there is some tough points here, but we still have to figure this out. We need to pass a continuing resolution by this Friday. However, according to Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, he says the government will be funded. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he confirms that yes, we will have the funding, we will have a continuing resolution before Friday. We also know that we have to pass the debt limit increase. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says we will not default, and Senator Schumer agrees on that as well. They did talk today for, I believe, about 40 minutes. They didn't come away saying anything to reporters really, but they did say they're going to continue their discussions and that yes, we will have a deal, but we are not going to default. So that's good news there. Now, we still have the Human Infrastructure Bill, and according to some reports today, this bill could be cheaper. It's at $1.75 trillion. Senator Joe Manchin said that we need to see multiple changes. We know he doesn't support many provisions within the bill, and we also know Senator Bernie Sanders is fighting back against him in many cases as well. But the expectation is this bill could be a little bit cheaper in order to entice moderates to jump on board, specifically Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. But by making it cheaper, is it going to pull out provisions that progressives like Bernie Sanders are fighting for? That's what we do not know at this time. But as we know more, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But let's get into the stock market news. Let's talk about the upcoming stock market crash. If you guys have been trading stocks recently, you know the market does go up and down. We saw, a little bit of red recently, but that's not bad. That just means it's a chance to buy these companies or some shares in these companies at a discount. But here's what I want you to understand. Just because the market dips, and a lot of people say they're going to buy the dip, right? Just because the market dips and the price declines doesn't mean that's going to be the bottom. We could see it go up, and here's my expectation. My expectation is we're going to see more red, but we could potentially see a green day tomorrow. So here's what I just want to warn you guys on. And we've seen this before. We see red days, right, where the market's just coming down, and then towards the bottom, a lot of people buy the dip. A lot of newer traders buy the dip, and it comes back up and it sees a small little rally for maybe a day or two. And then eventually we see a massive sell-off, okay? I expect that's going to happen. I expect we're going to see more red in the month of December than we see green, okay? I expect we're going to see more red. It doesn't mean you can't make any money. It just means you have to be patient. Just understand, if it comes down and you see a buying opportunity, trickle in just a little bit. Don't put 100% of your money into the first buy. Trickle in, maybe put 5%, 10%, whatever, right? Have a strategy. It works. And then if it drops again, buy a little bit more, buy another 10%. If it drops again, buy another 10%. Okay? You don't have to do this every single day, but maybe every 2 or 3 days, you'll decide, okay, I'm gonna nibble in here and there. But my issue with the stock market right now is we still have a lot of unanswered questions. right? We don't know. We have a lot of unanswered questions regarding the new COVID variant, Omicron. Okay, we still have questions regarding how quickly is the Federal Reserve going to taper. We don't know how quickly that's going to happen, which then on the heels of that, they're going to raise interest rates. Well, raising interest rates is actually going to hurt us for investors, right? So these are all things that we need to consider, but just understand right now that yes, it could be a good time to buy, but my expectation is we're going to see a little more red. We'll see a little more pain in these markets before we see a lot of green. So here's what I'm doing, just to give you an idea, because I know a lot of people ask, am I still going to be investing into stocks? Yes. Am I still going to be buying cryptos? Yes. I will still be buying a lot. However, I'm plowing a bunch of more money into my different accounts. I'm going to be I started doing that today. I will be doing more of that this week as well. I have to transfer over some money. So I'll be doing that. Then probably for this week, I'll probably just be very patient, look for different opportunities. There's some opportunities out there, but are they the greatest? No. Are they going to be potentially a good deal? Maybe, but we don't know, right? We don't have our crystal ball. We don't know that for sure. But I will most likely wait out this week, see kind of if we get more answers regarding the new COVID variant, regarding the Build Back Better plan, regarding the debt ceiling, regarding our government funding, the continuing resolution. I want to see these things go through. I don't want to invest now and see our government get shut down, which could potentially hurt markets. I don't want to invest, let's say, because again, we are 15 days away from our December 15th date, which is when Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says we need to increase the debt limit. So if our debt ceiling increase doesn't happen by December 15th, do I want to be invested into the markets heavily and at today's prices? Probably not, okay? Probably not. Because if we get to December 15th and we still don't have a deal, the worry would be, what if we don't have a deal by December 16th and then we see the markets completely sell off? Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I want to see where things go first. If I'm late and I don't get a buy-in at the very bottom, fine. I'm completely okay with that because I know it's going to come back up. It always comes back up, right? We see it go up and down all the time. So that's my expectation right now. That's what I am doing. But let me know. If you guys are invested, what are you, you don't got to tell me what you're invested in, but what is your strategy moving forward, especially for the next couple of weeks? Let me know. Just curious. But again, that is what we know as of right now. But as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.